Good morning, everyone. I'm hoping you can see my screen and hear my voice. If you can hear my voice and see my screen, please answer in the chat. Perfect. Thank you so much. A couple of housekeeping things as we get started this morning. Please keep your mic on mute. If you'd like to ask any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. My colleague is here with me this morning. That's Asfa, and she will answer any questions you have as we go along. And at the end, I will also take questions and answer them as well for you. We're going to get started this morning. I am recording this presentation, so you will have access to it after we are finished here today as well. So a little bit about me. I am Shannon. I'm a student recruitment advisor for the University of Calgary. My area is Calgary and area. This is my contact information. So if you have any questions, you can always scan that with your phone and choose my name or whatever, and then you'll get some information from me and I can answer any questions you have as we go along as well. Prior to joining the University of Calgary, I worked for 10 years in our high schools, helping our high school students to figure out what is the next step, what comes after high school, how do we create that pathway. Now I'm on the flip side at the University of Calgary and I'm helping our high school students to figure out that next step, that pathway to the University of Calgary. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. So the University of Calgary, it has 5 campuses. The main campus, which is the one we're going to spend most of our time talking about today, of course, is where you're going to do your undergraduate degree. This is where you start your education with us. So the 5 campuses, we have one at Spy Hill in Calgary, which is where we do our veterinary medicine. We have our Foothills campus. We have our downtown campus. We have our campus in Qatar, and of course, our campus here in the northwest of quadrant of Calgary, which is where most of us will be doing our undergraduate studies. You can see there that we have just over 28,000 students who call us home in the undergraduate program. We do offer master's, professional degrees, as well as your PhD as well. So in our student to faculty ratio, we do have a 23-to-1 ratio. You're probably wondering, how do we get that with that 28,000 plus undergraduate students? So think about being in your biology classroom in high school or your social studies classroom, the teachers at the front of the room talking. It's the same as what our professors are doing. They're at the front of the classroom. Their classrooms just happen to be a little bit bigger, 100, 200 plus students. So where do we get that smaller number? Well, many of you will, after you have taken a lecture, you will also attend either a lab or a tutorial or possibly both. And that's where you see that number start to get smaller, because now it's at 23-to-1 student to faculty ratio inside of your labs and inside your tutorials. And also, as you move through your degree, your classes will become more specialized and they will get smaller as well. There's lots of office hours with our faculty as well, so you'll be able to connect and have lots of support. We are a top research university in Canada, and what does that mean to you? As a top 6 research university, it means all of our programs, all of our faculties are doing research. This is a great opportunity for you to be involved and see research happening that's making a difference in our community and in our world. You can participate, you can be a supporting of that role as well. Maybe you're in a sociology classroom or a psychology classroom. You might be asked to take part in a study or survey. Maybe you want to go to our human performance lab and our faculty of kinesiology and try out some of the things that they're testing out there. For example, they might be testing out some running shoes. So you get on the treadmill and you might test those out for them as well. Speaking of the faculty of kinesiology, this is the #1 kinesiology program in North America. And we are currently one of 4 universities, the only Canadian university doing $12 million concussion research for the NFL. So this is the Northwest Campus. This is an aerial view. You'll notice throughout our slide deck today as we go along that there's lots of different QR codes there for you to scan, so you can come and back and do some additional research for yourself and explore the different parts of our university or programs that we're talking about further. So this QR code is going to give you a 360 Google Map view of the campus to help you orientate yourself to our campus here. It is in the northwest quadrant, as I mentioned. That transit station on the slide there runs along Crowchild Trail northwest there. So if you were to come up by train to the University of Calgary, you get off at University Station, a quick jump across the bridge there, and you're at the first building on campus. You will notice that all of our buildings are connected by +15, so that above ground tunnel system. So once you're on campus, you can actually move about the buildings without ever going outside. But as you can see, we have a beautiful campus outside. And lots of times you'll see lots of students strolling outside. They are gathering for coffee. They're having lunch outside. They're studying outside, playing Frisbee outside. So lots of opportunities. There is parking on campus for you as well. It is paid parking. You can buy day parking or you can pay for an annual pass. But part of the University of Calgary, what we do offer you is what we call as a U-Pass. This U-Pass gets you access to the transit system, whether that's the trains or the buses, to come to campus, to go to your part-time job, to volunteering, to go catch up with friends around the city of Calgary. So it's part of your fees. It is a pass that gives you access to that transit system 24/7 from September 1st till April 30th. You will see our Taylor Family Digital Library there. It's a beautiful place to study. Students will gather there. You'll find that we have the largest collection of retro video games on campus there as well. So there's lots of different places for you to connect and find yourself on the University of Calgary. I do invite you to find the zipper there that's located in the Science Theater. Give it a spin for luck before you do one of your exams or before you start your presentation. So it's really important to the University of Calgary that not only are you studying hard and working hard on your academics, but it is really about creating that memorable, unique experience for yourself. And how do you create that memorable, unique experience? Start thinking about it from the very beginning at the University of Calgary. The same as when you were in your high schools and you've got your friendships, you've got your extracurricular you're involved in, maybe you've got a part-time job, you're volunteering, whatever it might be. This is what we want you to think about doing, is how do you engage and make that a memorable experience at the U Calgary? So maybe if you're into sustainability, our community garden might be something you're interested in. The Student Union is always hosting lots of events throughout the year. The one on the slide here, of course, is our pet therapy. So this is where they bring the animals up onto campus during midterm and finals. You get to learn a bit about their stories and have some snuggle time as well. We have Clubs Week, and we're going to talk about that a little bit further in a moment here. We are a caring community. We take a great deal of pride in being a U Calgary Cares. So if you're somebody who likes to volunteer, or maybe you'd like to start volunteering, whether that's on our campus, locally, or nationally or globally, this might be something you'd be interested in doing, just joining other people who are passionate and share your same interest in volunteering. And as you volunteer at the University of Calgary, you can track that on what we call as a co-curricular transcript. So that when you graduate from the University of Calgary, you have your academic transcript as well as your co-curricular transcript. For those of you that would love to build your leadership skills, we have our Emerging Leaders program. This is a great way for you to have that opportunity. You join other like-minded individuals. You're going to volunteer together. You're going to take some seminars together as well, building those leadership skills. As always, you are a dino when you are at the University of Calgary. So we invite you to come out and use your student card to come out and cheer our dinos at all of their varsity home games on to victory. Fill those stands with red and make some noise for us. Also, if you are interested in becoming a dino, we're going to talk about that more, as well as a varsity athlete. So this slide here that you can see there, the picture is, of course, our Crow Child Classic. This is when the University of Calgary Dinos, men and women's hockey teams, challenge Mount Royal University Cougars, their men and women's hockey team, down at the Saddle Dome at 2 hockey games in the Crow Child Classic. We have our campus radio if you'd be interested in that. We have our Faith and Spirituality Center and so many more other areas for you to think about being involved at the University of Calgary. Think about how you can create that experience for yourself. So when I mentioned the clubs before, you can see here we have a QR code here. If you'd like to explore that more, it'll give you a list of all those 300 plus clubs we have on campus. So during that first week on campus, our clubs all set up booths. They invite you to come out and learn more about them and then sign up for ones that you're interested in. We have academic clubs, we have cultural clubs. Maybe you're interested in the Physics and Astronomy Students Association Club. Maybe you're interested in learning how to salsa dance, trying something you've never tried before. Maybe you want to try a tea drinking club because you're interested in tea drinking. If you can't find a club out of the 300 plus clubs we have on campus, I invite you and 9 friends to approach the Student Union, and they will work with you around helping you create that other club as well. So think about that. Maybe you want to join 1 or 2 clubs. The oldest club on campus, of course, is our Ski Snowboard Club, which gives you access, of course, to discounted lift tickets if you're a skier or a snowboarder. Part of being well-rounded and maintaining that active lifestyle as well as being active. So your student card is going to get you access to all of the amenities that you can see on the screen here. So you could maybe come to the fitness center, take part in using some of the fitness equipment, whether that's some weights, a stationary bike or a treadmill, whatever it might be, take part in a fitness class. Maybe like these students here, you want to strap on your skates and give that fastest ice in the world at the Olympic Oval a try. We do invite you to try that with us. The gymnastics center is very popular on a Thursday night, jumping into the foam pit there to relieve some stress. The outdoor center is the largest of its kind in North America. How does that work? You take your student card and you go to the outdoor center. This is where you can now rent some outdoor equipment at a discounted rate. So maybe you and a group of friends are going to go try snowshoeing, or you want to go camping. You would go to them and you would be able to get the equipment you need at a discounted rate. If you're somebody who enjoys something a little bit more organized in your activities, we have over 50 intramural sports teams. Those are both recreational and competitive. Dodgeball is very popular. We have badminton, we have basketball, hockey, you name it. Come out and think about how you can maintain that healthy lifestyle for yourself as well. Really, another thing to think about how you make that memorable, unique experience for yourself is through our work integrated learning. You can see on the slide here, we have lots of different options for you to be able to bring that hands-on learning, start to bring that experiential learning to life for yourself. So whether it depends part of it on what program you're involved in, that sort of gives you the options that you're going to be able to start accessing. You can see there we have capstone projects, we have paid research opportunities, we have clinical and field experiences, as well as cooperative education and internships. I do want to just talk to you a little bit about what co-ops and internships are. Both are paid work experience, so paid employment opportunities for you. You're going to get an opportunity to network, build those skills on your resume. The difference, of course, is a co-op education is under 1 year in length. So there's 6, 8, or 12 months in length. Generally, students who do co-op educations will do 2 to 3 of those in their time with us, and they will do it with 2 or 3 different employers. An internship is 12 to 16 months in length, and it is generally done between your 3rd and your 4th year, and it is paid as well, and it is generally done with one employer. As you can see there, you can see the difference there between if I was in arts or commerce, they would be offering me co-ops, internships with engineering and sciences and things like that. Your practicums, of course, are with your nursing and your education, your kinesiology. University of Calgary offers lots of opportunities for our students to also be engaged and do co-op opportunities with us as well. And we also have paid employment opportunities with you when you're with us. So I do like to spend quite a bit of time on our student support here. I think this is an amazing set of services that the University of Calgary offers. Of course, these are not all of the services or supports that we offer, but this gives you some idea what we have here. So the career services, this is where you come for things like, I want to get help with my interview skills. I need to write a resume or edit my resume. I'm looking for a job. They have a job board. Maybe you're not sure how biological sciences, your degree is going to translate into a career. You can go for some one-on-one career advising. What happens if you're not sure if you want to continue to do biological sciences? Maybe you're having a change of heart. Then you would go for one-on-one career advising there as well. For many of us at the University of Calgary, it's the first time we're also going to be working with our own budget. So creating that budget, living on that budget. So the financial aid office offers us some educational workshops on Money Smart. How do we create a budget and manage that budget as well? Our Student Success Center, of course, I like to spend a lot of time on this one. This one is this is an amazing service, and it is available to you from the outset at the University of Calgary. Many students will wait until they've gone through their first round of midterms or even their first semester before they reach out to find out about this service here, this center. But it is available from the beginning. So our students, as they started to get ready to come on campus and join us this past September, we of course offered things like transitioning to the University of Calgary through our summer series workshops. And they were different workshops on things like, how do you take notes from a professor talking at the front of the room? How do you use the technology at the University of Calgary? How do you organize yourself, create some time management skills, things like that. Of course, as we move towards midterm season, they're offering definitely things on like, how do you prepare for a midterm? So how do you write an exam? How do you write a short answer, long answer, multiple choice exam? For those of us that are writing papers, of course, maybe we need a little bit of writing support, whether that's through some grammar and editing support. Maybe we're not sure how to cite properly between MLA Chicago or APA style. That would be our writing center. Of course, we have many different peer-led studies sessions. How does that work exactly? Think about maybe you're in a mathematics class or an economics class and you've gone to the lecture, you've gone to the lab, you've gone to tutorial. You just need a little bit more help to get that information or that question and to understand it a little bit more. We have peer-led study sessions, and these are done by students who have already successfully completed those courses. There's lots of different ways in there. The biggest thing about any of the supports I'm talking about today, it's really about reaching out and asking for the ones you need help with. If you can't find it, ask somebody, they will help you find the service you need. We have our student wellness services. This offers really all-encompassing counseling, medical services. There's a registered dietitian. They offer different learning opportunities as well. So they have mindful Wednesdays and whatnot there. You have your Q Center, which is our safe and inviting space for our UCalgary LGBTQA+ community. We have our Writing Symbols Lodge, which is our home away from home for our Indigenous students. They can take part in cultural events, they can visit with elders, they have access to computer labs and so much more. One that's not on here that I do want to just draw your attention to is our Student Accessibility Center as well. So they offer both short and long-term support for students. So short-term would be maybe you're out skiing during reading break and you broke your wrist, you come back and you need a scribe. You need somebody who can actually scribe your notes for you or whatever it might be while you're healing. So this would be something they would offer if you went to them. Long-term support, of course, maybe I have an IPP from high school. I need extra time. I need quiet space. I need larger print, whatever it might be. This is where you would approach them. When you want to approach them, of course, is after you've accepted your offer to the University of Calgary, you want to be looking at connecting with them in about May or June before you start at the University of Calgary. And then what they'll do is they'll work with you to make sure that everything is in place so that come September, it is a smooth transition for you. As I mentioned before, we are the Dinos. We are the home of the Dinos. Of course, your student card gets you access, as I mentioned before, to all of our varsity home games. So grab a group of friends, come on out. Maybe on a Friday night, we're doing a scholarship give or tuition giveaway. Maybe your name will be asked to come and participate in the activity, and you might win some tuition there as a scholarship award. If you are in sport, if you are interested in continuing your sport at a varsity level at the University of Calgary, I do invite you to go to godinos.com. That's godinos.com. Reach out to the coach of the sport you are interested in, and they will tell you about next steps. They'll tell you if they need a highlights reel, if they need, they've got a ID camp coming up, whatever it might be, they'll tell you about those next steps as well. They are also the ones that control your athletic scholarships. So this would be what you'd want to be reaching out to them now. For those of you that are in grade 12, you should get on top of that right now if you're looking to play with a sport with them this coming fall. For those of you in grade 10 or 11, it's never too early to start to reach out and find out a little bit more about what's going on. Always, all of our students are invited to live on campus with us. This is a great way to make that a memorable, unique experience, build that sense of community, definitely have a much shorter commute to campus. Wake up 5 or 10 minutes before class and you can just run across the campus there. For those of you that are interested in living on campus, you do need to apply for residence by May 1st, and that will give you a 2-year residence guarantee. You may have a roommate you already want to be a roommate with, and they also want to be your roommate. So if you both put each other's names down, we will match you up. Otherwise, take part in our matching service, which is just a short questionnaire. It's going to ask you things like, do you like to study late? Do you like to study with music on? Whatever it might be. Be honest, be truthful. If you're not somebody who is tidy, but you're okay living in a little bit of mess, then you might want to say that. So things like that, you're going to put all that together. We do offer you, there's fitness facilities right on your residence as well. You will have, there's study groups and study lounges going on in there as well, and a great way to take part. Many students in residence will join intramural teams together to play together. They take part in theme activities together. When you are a student at the University of Calgary, you do get to participate when you're living in residence in the All You Care to Eat meal plan. So this is the landing that you can see on the slide here. What you do with the All You Care to Eat meal plan when you're living on campus is you swipe your card when you come into the landing. So if you're feeling really hungry for lunch one day, you could eat 3 or 4 platefuls of food. Maybe you're feeling a little bit nervous because you got your first presentation going on for the day. So you want to eat a little bit lighter. It's All You Care to Eat. So you're not worrying about a declining balance on your card. For those of us that are going to commute to the University of Calgary, we do invite you to take part in the 120 swipe plan, and it works the exact same way for you. It gives you that opportunity to swipe your card as you come through for the landing for a meal as well. So for you that are commuting, maybe you are going to have a long day on campus. Maybe you're going to be there from 8 in the morning till 9 at night. It might be a nice way to have a nice hot meal with your friends on campus. Maybe you're going to join some of your friends who live in residence for a meal. Maybe you're going to go do some intramurals together, whatever it might be. This is a great option. You can see there that they have halal, vegetarian, and gluten-free menu options. The executive chef there working with the dietary resources will also address any other dietary restrictions you might have. These are the 8 faculties that you can apply directly to at the University of Calgary from high school. These are the starting degrees for you in your bachelor's program. So think about, this is where you're going to be able to start. Now we're going to be talking about the major, because when you apply to the University of Calgary, you are applying to a major. This is your starting place. Don't worry about your minor right now. The minor will sort itself out. So if I was doing a straight bachelor's degree, I would need 40 courses. I would need 120 units to graduate with my bachelor's degree. If I take 5 classes in the fall and 5 in the winter, that's 10 classes a year. Taking 10 classes a year, I would finish my degree in 4 years. Of course, if I added a co-op or an internship, that would extend the length of time in my degree. But I'm focusing on my major. So about 15 to 20 of those 40 classes are going to make up your major. Those are the courses that are going to be very specific to your degree. They're going to have some very specific courses you must take in that focus area. So what happens with the other 20 to 25 classes? Those are courses that make up the electives. Those are glue that holds your degree together. We want you to be well-rounded. We want you to be problem solvers. We want you to be able to collaborate, communicate, be creative in your problem solving, and so much more as well. Create that high-level critical thinking skills. So maybe you're somebody who has taken 2 French classes in your first year and you really enjoyed them. You decide to take a couple more in your second and 2 more in your third and 2 more in your fourth. Pretty soon you have 8 classes. So 8 to 10 classes will make up a minor inside that degree. So it's why you're not worrying about declaring a minor from the outset right now. That is an upper year decision. So focus on what is your major. What do you want to study? You're going to be looking for 2 program choices you want to start at the University of Calgary. So let's talk about these faculties here, these 8 faculties you can pick from. The Faculty of Arts is the largest of all of our faculties on campus. This is for students who are interested in the humanities, the social sciences, or the fine arts. So inside of humanities, think of things like philosophy, history, English, any of the languages, art history. If you're thinking about social sciences, think sociology, psychology, anthropology, things like that. And of course, your fine arts includes visual studies, drama, dance, and music. We have over 250 different programs and combinations that you can be looking at out of these 8 faculties. So I just want to draw your attention. If you're thinking about the Faculty of Arts, one of the things you will see inside the Faculty of Arts is there's a Bachelor of Arts offering for 4 different programs: geography, psychology, anthropology, and archaeology. But there's also a Bachelor of Science housed there. So these programs are housed under the Faculty of Arts. That's who calls them home. You just have to decide if you want to do a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in that program area. So what is the difference between, say, for example, the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and the Bachelor of Science in Psychology? Well, looking at the admission requirements, that's slightly different. So the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology is English 30-1, Math 30-1 or -2, 2 30-level academic courses, and a 5th 30-level academic course or option. On the Bachelor of Science side, it is English 30-1, Math 30-1, Biology 30, Chemistry 30, and a 5th 30-level course. So you can see the admission requirements are slightly different between the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Where they differ is that in the science side, you are going to have some required science courses, some natural science courses that are required as part of your degree requirements. If I wanted to take some science courses in the Bachelor of Arts, those become part of my electives. But there is about 10 to 12 classes that will overlap between those pieces. So you want to think about how do you engage in those pieces? What are you most interested in? In the Faculty of Science, we offer 17 different program areas. I do want to draw your attention inside the Faculty of Science, just because we're going to talk about science now, but it's not only in sciences. All of our programs do have an honors option. What you'll be looking at, though, is inside that honors option, some of them will say honors in upper years and some will say honors direct entry from high school. If it's direct entry from high school, it must be a first choice on your application. So for example, inside the Faculty of Science, you will see the Bachelor of Science Neuroscience. It says honors direct entry, so it's honors only. So that means you have to apply to that as your first choice from high school as you enter into university. So what is honors? Honors is a little bit different in the terminology that we use at the University of Calgary. So in high school, if you have an 85% average or higher, you're on the honor roll. With a high GPA at the University of Calgary, we put you on the Dean's List. So what is honors? Honors is designed for those of you that have a unique research question that you want to have answered. Don't worry, you don't have to have that question right now. You don't have to have it in your head right now, but it's going to be something you're going to be doing. So you can some of these programs will allow you to start right in honors, working towards that research question right from high school. Others will ask you to choose that as an upper year program. It doesn't matter where you want to start. You just got to think about that. So this is for you if you have a unique research question. That unique research question is something you're going to be asked to, you're going to start doing in your first year. You're going to start working towards developing some research skills. You're going to be asked to maintain a course load in that honors program, as well as maintain a specific GPA or higher. And then in your upper years, your capstone project is going to be conducting that unique research question. You're going to see it through the entire research process to the point where you actually are now going to defend your thesis as part of your capstone, okay? So keep that in mind for yourself. We have our Haskayne School of Business. This is where you come for the Bachelor of Commerce. For those of you that are interested in commerce, we have 16 concentration areas. Don't worry if you don't know if you want to go into accounting or finance or international business or supply chain management at this point. You can choose general commerce as your starting point. The Schulich School of Engineering is for those of us that are interested in engineering. You will do a common first year in engineering at the University of Calgary, so don't worry about telling us what major you want. You don't have to tell us which of the 7 majors you want to do right now, because you're going to get exposure to all of the different areas in your first year. Towards the end of that first year in engineering is when you're going to declare your major of choice, okay? You also have opportunity to add lots of minors to that engineering. The most recent of all of our minors that we added last year was our aerospace engineering. The Bachelor of Commerce combined with the Bachelor of Engineering, that is a combined degree. It would need to be a first choice program on your application. If you would like to do that combined degree, you need to make that a first choice on your program application. And then what it is in 5 years, you'll come out with 2 degrees. For those of you that are interested in combining that very unique business degree with the engineering degree, you will need to meet the admission requirements for both of those programs, and it is a smaller cohort and the average will be a bit higher as well. If you add the co-op option in there as well, it will extend the length of time in that degree. The Faculty of Kinesiology, we mentioned that before, is the #1 kinesiology program in North America. This is for those students who are interested in the sports sciences. If you're interested in sports sciences, this is for you. They also offer the Bachelor of Kinesiology and the Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. It works similar to the way we were talking about earlier. For those of you interested in education, we offer the Workland School of Education. There are 3 pathways to choose to becoming a teacher. If I know I want to get in and get out and start teaching right away, I'm going to choose the 4-year education pathway, and that will give me K-12 to be able to teach. Maybe I want to do a combined degree. Remember, combined degrees must be first choices on your application. Maybe I want to do Bachelor of Arts History combined with education. I can do those 2 pieces together. In 5 years, I will come out with 2 degrees. Maybe I'm somebody who has started in the Bachelor of Science. I'm doing mathematics and I'm really enjoying mathematics. And in my 3rd, 4th year, I'm like, you know what? I really would love to be a teacher. I think I'm very passionate about sharing this knowledge. I want to share it with other people. I would then add a 2-year after degree in education for my program there. The Faculty of Nursing, of course, is our next program we're going to talk about here. The Faculty of Nursing does offer state-of-the-art simulation labs. In your first year, you're going to do your ethics classes. You're going to do some of those electives and get them moving along so that as you move towards years 2, 3, and 4, of course, now you're working on those 1,600 plus hours of practical clinical learning experience that you need to do as well. For those of you that are interested maybe in we do have Borders, Nurses Without Borders as well. There's an opportunity for you as well. Whoops, sorry, pardon me, bumped the keyboard there. The Cummings School of Medicine, I do just want to pause here for a moment. Please know if you're interested in medicine, you're not applying to medicine from high school. You need to get a different degree to get started. So for those of us that are just getting started, we need to choose any program that we are most interested in. Choose something we're interested in. It can be anything. For those of you that like to dance, you could choose dance. I could choose history. Somebody could choose science. Somebody else might choose commerce, kinesiology, whatever it might be. Choose something you're passionate about as your starting place to medicine. So which 2 programs do we offer in the Cummings School of Medicine? We have 2 very unique degrees that are very highly sought after as well. So we have our community rehabilitation, pardon me. This is a highly interdisciplinary degree. What does that mean? It means you're going to be taking courses in a number of different disciplines, across disciplines. So things like sociology, psychology, maybe some biology or things like that. This program is got lots of research opportunities. There is field practicums as well. It is a program that is thinking about working with individuals with disabling conditions, chronic health conditions, thinking about being on the advocacy side, the programming policy side of things. That's what you're going on in the community rehabilitation. The other degree is our Bachelor of Health Sciences. This is an honors program. It must be a first choice program on your application because it is an honors program. So what is that? This is where you come to do research in the health sciences. If you're interested in health related research, this is the program for you. It is also one of the only programs that has a supplementary application, which we're going to talk about in a moment. So our bioinformatics is one of the 3 programs in this Bachelor of Health Sciences. Think about the computational approaches and tools to biology and medicine. We have our biomedical sciences, which is looking at the mechanisms of health and disease, and health and society looks at the social determinants of health. So it's looking at things like sociology, political science, economics, and how those factors impact and shape the health of the individual and the population. So those students in the Bachelor of Health Sciences, you will take courses at both campuses, both our main campus as well as the Foothills Hospital campus. You'll take classes together in a group and that are unique to you as well. And you will be writing your thesis and defending that research question at the end of your program at the end for that capstone. Maybe you're not sure what you're interested in. What am I interested in studying? I'm not sure. We have a couple of QR codes here. Maybe there's some information on degree profiles. You're wondering, how is that degree going to translate for you? Or what do I want to study? What career is best for me? You can go ahead and take a peek at those as well. We do offer podcasts as well. You'll hear us talking about those throughout the day here. We invite you to listen to some of those. We have current students and faculty and staff talking about their programs, talking about their experiences. And this is a great way to be involved in learning more about that. We also have our faculty fair and our discovery sessions as well going on today. So please, I invite you to come out and listen to some of those as well, because those will give you more information, much more detail about the programs than what Shannon has just glossed over this morning. How do you apply to the University of Calgary? It's pretty straightforward. You're going to go to Apply Alberta because you are an Alberta resident. So you go to Apply Alberta, you create that account for yourself. You're going to be asked to create a username and password. Please write that down. You're going to start creating lots of usernames and passwords for yourself. Applications are now open. So they opened on October 1st and they will close on March 1st. You are encouraged to apply early. Because what we do, we're going to talk about that in a moment here about how come you apply early and what the benefits are of that for you. There is 2 program choices on your application. So the first choice is the one you most want to do. You have the admission requirements for. If it's an honors program or a combined program, it must be a first choice. And your second choice program, you should be interested in it, have the admission requirements. And I do encourage you to choose something with a slightly lower admission average just in case. For those of you with Canadian credentials, you will pay $125 for your application fee and $145 for your international credentialed students. Now, for those of you, the thing to keep in mind, of course, is for most of us, we started high school in grade 10, September 2019, and we will be graduating in June 2022. Remember to include that on your application. Also include all of your education history on your application for high school. So if you studied outside of Alberta or Canada for grade 10, 11, or part of grade 12, make sure you include that. If you took courses outside of your regular high school, maybe you took a summer school class or an online class, make sure you include that on your application. For those of you that are completing IB programs or advanced placement, please make sure you include that as well on your application. For those of you that are doing IB or AP, you are going to need to also ensure that you have had the College Board or the IB organization send your results to the University of Calgary afterwards. Because you are Alberta's students and you have studied in Alberta, we are going to request your transcript from Alberta Education on your behalf. So you don't need to do anything other than apply to the University of Calgary. We will request your transcript. So why do I want you to apply early? Applications have opened. We want you to apply early because we're going to request your transcript as soon as you apply to the University of Calgary. We're going to look to see, do you have the admission requirements for your first choice? If you do, we can send you an offer. If not, we're going to look at you right away for your second choice. If you get an offer for your first choice program, we're not looking at you for your second. If you wanted us to look at your second choice, you would need to reach out to us. But if you do get an offer for your second choice, please don't worry. We are still considering you for your first choice. So why do we want you to apply early? Because we do rolling admission. What that means is we can look at your application more than one time. We're going to request your transcript more than one time on your behalf, and we're going to be able to extend offers throughout the admission cycle to you. So we're going to look right away when you apply. We're going to look again in February when there's some final results available. Admission to the University of Calgary is competitive, and it is on 5 faculty-specific high school courses. English 30-1 is mandatory for all of us, plus 4 more at the 30 level. You will notice the ones on the slide here, they have what we call Mark Plus. There's something more that you need to do. It's not just based on the marks on your transcript, it's also these additional pieces. Bachelor of Health Sciences has a supplementary essay. You'll get access to that in all of these different pieces that need to be done 24 to 48 hours after you apply to the University of Calgary. You'll find it populated in your to-do list and you can access it there. So you can see there, dance and music have auditions. Please don't worry, drama has no audition in the first year. Visual studies has a portfolio as well. So why do I want to apply early? So that I can get access to these pieces and start working on them and doing my best job possible, because they are part of my evaluation into those programs. For those of you that finish the Bachelor of Health Sciences supplementary essay early, maybe by December 1st, you could hear about health sciences in February, mid-February. Otherwise, if you finish it by the deadline in March, you will then hear in later April or May. So it's good to be able to hear. You're probably going to hear on these programs, if you're applying to any of these ones, about your second choice program, because we have to have those additional pieces for your first choice. This gives you some idea of what we're looking for in terms of the courses. So if you were to look at the Bachelor of Arts in Law and Society, of course, you can see it says English 30-1. 3 30-level approved academic courses, and a 5th 30-level approved course or option. You can see as you go through these different ones, every program is different. I do draw your attention to the Bachelor of Science in Engineering, English 30-1, Math 30-1, Math 31, Chemistry 30, Physics or Biology 30. What does that mean exactly? So maybe I'm in grade 12 and I have done Chemistry 30, I'm working on my Biology 30, but maybe I only took Physics 20, or I never took Physics at all because there was no room in my schedule. But I have learned a lot about engineering and I want to do this. This is the program I'm most passionate about studying. So I'm going to have Biology 30. You can be admitted to the University of Calgary for engineering under the bioengineering pathway. What this means is you will be asked to come to the University of Calgary in August, complete a program through the Bioengineering Summer Institute program. Once you have successfully completed that program in August, you will start your common first year with everybody else in your cohort, okay? And you'll progress right along the same way. We know that for most of you in grade 12, you will be completing Math 31 in the second half of your year. Not to worry, we know that's coming as well. So you're saying, Shannon, I'm in grade 12. I'm taking these 30-level classes this year. I don't have 30-level classes, but you're telling me to apply early. How do I apply early? We are a mark-based university. We're going to use the marks on your transcript that we find from Alberta Education. We are going to use a 20-level final mark as a placeholder till we see that 30-level class. So what do I mean? I mean, we're going to use English 20-1 until English 30-1 is available to us. Once we can see that English 30-1 mark, we no longer care about your English 20-1 mark. But those 20s are going to be placeholders while we calculate your overall average on those 5 courses there. For those of you that already finished a 30-level class, maybe you finished Chemistry 30 or Social Studies 30-1 in the summer between grade 11 and grade 12, then that's great. We don't care about the 20-level mark. We are only using the 30. This gives you some idea of the estimated competitive admission averages for the different programs. You'll also find that on our website under our Explore programs, under the admission requirements side there as well. Remember, admission is competitive, so you want to keep that in mind as you're applying to your programs and making your choices. So some additional information here, the University of Calgary is going to request your transcript from Alberta Education on your behalf after you apply to the University of Calgary. We will do that more than one time. If you studied outside of Alberta or Canada, you do need to make sure that you have you're going to have to request those education transcripts from the Education Ministry to have them sent to the University of Calgary. As I mentioned as well about IB students and AP students, you will need to make sure those results are sent to the University of Calgary as they are part of your education history. Your deadline, of course, to finish everything for the high school side of it is June 30th of 2022 if you're hoping to join us in fall 2022. For those of you that are thinking about taking a gap year, you're going to go to work for a year, you're going to go volunteering, travel, maybe you're going to retake some courses, then you're not going to apply this fall, you're going to wait and apply a year from now. You're going to apply this time next year. Once you've applied to the University of Calgary, you're going to get access to myucalgary.ca. That's your student center. Go in there. You can check the status of your application. You can also check your to-do list. You'll be able to apply for awards from there and eventually accept your offer and register for your courses next May. This gives you some idea of the application cycle here, the process. Remembering, first thing we're going to do, of course, is go to do some research in our Explore programs. Applications are now open on October 1st till March 1st. Remember, you must pay the application fee. If you haven't paid that application fee, that needs to be paid by your parents, your guardians, whatever it might be, you have to pay that because otherwise you're existing in the cyber ethers and we can't request your transcript and begin to evaluate your application until you pay that fee. And of course, you have until March to finish uploading all documents inside your application. We're going to talk about awards in a minute here. Remember, any offers you get, you will read the offer. It will say congratulations. It will talk to you about the conditions of your offer. It will give you a date to accept your offer and have paid your deposit. For most of us, that will be May 1st. Remembering, of course, that the residence application opens up on January 1st as well. So awards, this is really important. There's over $17 million in awards at the University of Calgary. So once you apply early, and another reason to apply early, so you can get access to the awards application and start working on this awards piece right then and there. They have your prestige awards. These are the ones that close on December 1st. These are your high value awards. They're going to take some extra time to answer. They're going to be asking you for some information about your extracurriculars, maybe your leadership, a little bit about yourself. You might even be asked to sit a short interview. These are those renewable high value scholarships. So December 1st is their deadline. The high school entrance awards, they close March 1st. They're going to ask you some different questions as well. It'll take you a little bit faster time to answer those. You are eligible to be considered for all that you are eligible for. So you don't need to tell us which one you're most interested in. We will consider you for all you are eligible for. You can receive more than one high school award. Of course, they can be laddered together. So why do I say apply early? It's so that you can get access to this awards application. It opened on October 1st. I would say to students, work on the Prestige Award first, because that one closes December 1st. Then during your winter break or your January exam break, now work on the high school entrance award and submit it by March 1st. The only award you don't need to worry about is our automatic awards there. And that automatic awards there, as you can see, is the President's Admission Scholarship valued at $5,000 for those of you that have a 95% or higher average on those 5 admission courses. For those of you completing the International Baccalaureate Diploma, your entrance scholarship is valued at $2,000 if you score a 35 or higher. These ones you're automatically considered for because you've applied to the University of Calgary. Talk to your high schools, of course, about the Schulich Leaders Scholarship. Every high school gets to nominate one individual for this award. The University of Calgary participates with 20 other institutions in Canada. And you can see that once again, we welcomed 6 new recipients to UCalgary this past fall, 3 in engineering, each receiving $100,000, and 3 in science, receiving $80,000 each. We also have put together the external awards page there. You will see these are not administered by the University of Calgary, but we have put together some other sites there so you can do some more research if you want to apply for some additional awards as well. How much is it going to cost to go to the University of Calgary? I invite you to go to our cost estimator on the website as well, plug in your program. That'll give you some additional information there. You can see there general fees, that includes your transit pass, your health and your dental plan. Books and supplies, there's quite a range there. Why is there a range there? Well, of course, part of that depends on what program am I studying? Am I buying new or used textbooks? Am I renting my textbooks? If I'm not going to live on campus or take part in the meal plan, I can remove that from my costs as well. Once again, important dates and deadlines. You will notice that we talk about those important dates and deadlines quite a bit. Why? Because we need you to remember they are firm and they are fast. So October 1st to March 1st is your opportunity to apply for fall 2022. Think about 5 reasons to choose UCalgary. I always invite all of our students to think about how can you engage, how can you inspire, and how can you create your UCalgary memorable experience for yourself. This has some number of webinars that are coming up outside of our open house today. If you're interested in learning more about some of our faculty information nights, you'd like to learn more about community rehabilitation, you'd like to learn more about social work, whatever it might be, come on and go ahead and register for any of those events. There are going to be different tips and tricks, awards webinars coming up as well. Lots of different ideas there. So please register for any you're interested in. I'm going to turn to our chat person and see how we're doing with our questions, see if we're keeping up, if there's any additional questions we have to answer. This is my contact information. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, reach out to the University of Calgary. We are happy to answer all of your questions and support you that way. Take a peek at connecting with us as well through our YouTube channel, our podcasts, and everything else as well. All right, let's see what questions we have quickly here. About the admission process, is it possible to get rejected but get accepted again later on? So part of what happens is in the admission cycle, we're going to review your application right away when you apply. So can we offer you either your first choice or your second choice? If we can't, I call it like the university airport. So if we can't offer you either your first or second choice, so maybe you've applied in October or November, we're going to put you up in that airport. You're going to circle around so that when your first semester marks come to us in February, we're going to now look and see, can we offer you your first or your second choice? So we're going to keep doing that piece. So it's not that you're going to be rejected. It's going to be more that your application needs to be reviewed again. Okay. So we will review your application more than one time. Okay. How does admission into combined degrees look like? So when you're applying to a combined degree, you need to meet the admission requirements for both programs. So if I'm doing a combined education degree, I want to do education combined with the Bachelor of Arts in English. I have to meet the Bachelor of Arts English requirements as well as the education requirements. And then I have to meet a slightly higher admission average as well for those 2 programs. So I'm meeting the admission requirements for both programs. Same as if it was commerce as well as engineering, is meeting admission requirements for both the commerce program as well as the engineering program. When you're applying to a combined degree, something you should know is that because it's a combined degree, you will hear generally about first part of that degree first, and then there's a bit of a delay, there's a lag time until you hear about the second part. And it's because it has to go through another review piece, okay? So don't be alarmed if you hear, say if I was applying to the Bachelor of Commerce combined with engineering, and I heard about commerce, don't be alarmed. We still need to review you for engineering. It's just, it takes another step, okay? So be patient with that piece. It does take some time. If the average of our 30 level courses is lower than the average of our 20 level courses and we applied early, and got accepted, would we still be allowed to go? So on your, everybody gets a conditional offer at the University of Calgary, and you'll see in the letter of offer that you get it to say, congratulations, welcome, you know, you've got accepted to program X. It's going to say there are a number of conditions you have to meet. Those conditions you have to meet for your program are you have to finish high school. So you have to graduate from high school. You need to complete the 5 required courses for your program. You need to complete all of the items on your to-do list, and then you must maintain the competitive admission average for your program. It will tell you what that average is. Later in March, April, it will tell you exactly what that minimum or above you need to have for your average. If we use Apply Alberta, does it ensure you have all of the required documents? What Apply Alberta does is it gives us your Alberta education transcript. If you have to complete an English language proficiency test, that does not come to us. You'll need to make sure you upload that and have that result sent to us, okay? If you're doing IB or AP, that doesn't come from those come from the College Board or the IB organization. The Bachelor of Health Sciences program, where would we go to find more information about the supplementary essay? Actually, there's probably a Bachelor of Health Sciences discovery session today in the faculty fair. I suggest you take a peek. If not, go to the webinar that they're offering for the faculty event as well. If you get accepted for your second choice program and say yes, would we still be able to get your first? Yes, you would. You would still be able to have that chance. So if you get a second choice, you can say yes, we're still considering you for your first. Once you get that first choice program, you now need to decide which one do you want to keep. You accept one and the other one will go away, okay? All right, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. If you have other questions, please ask questions. We have our Ask Us booth open as well. Enjoy the rest of the fair today, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.